Hi everyone, Anthony Morgan's Training Academy. Today is about upper quadrant. And upper quadrant kind of covers everything from the waist up. How I prepare for an engagement, how I prepare for an attack, how I prepare for someone attacking me. Now, the first and foremost, you have to think, okay, if somebody's getting in your face and somebody is being verbally abusive, the number one thing to remember is don't get knocked out. Okay, and getting knocked out, it sounds easy. You can either get out of their way or not engage in the fight. But sometimes you can't always get out of the fight. So the number one thing is my hands are always here. Okay, and a lot of this is a repeat for you guys, okay, and girls, okay. This is, my hands are always up here. And as Cjo used to always say, he says, you know, keep your hands up here to where you're shutting down that line from his fist to your cheek. So this is basically, the hand is here, which is what we refer to as a wusao. This hand is here, so he has to go around the hand. Now, anytime my hands are up here, I'm shutting that line down, which is upper quadrant. So my hands are always going to be here. Now, anytime that somebody is really throws hard attacks, okay, with my hands here, I can cover. Okay, I can cover. And if you guys think, I'm going to get a little close to the camera here. On upper quadrants, it's like if I throw a number one, see how my hand goes to here? I throw that number one here, okay? Now, if, say, example, okay, I throw that number one, okay? I throw that number one here, and say he rushes in, okay? Now, see, I can cover here, even with the stick in my hand, okay? I can go one here, because this is going to basically a stop that I do every time I'm working with sticks. My hand's always here. So as I go through here, and if he rushes, okay, I can cover here, okay? I can cover here. This is always available so that I can elbow with it. I can elbow with this hand, or I can elbow with here. I can spear, so if I fire here, I can spear here, okay? Now, I can also cover here, where you can see, to where if I'm here, and I can hit here. So your elbows are vitally important. And especially doing, you know, this one here, if the guy rushes, which they do, but it doesn't have to always be with a stick. Okay, I can be just, you know, sitting here talking like this, okay, and with my hand like this, and guys say, well, you could be trapped. Well, yeah, you could be trapped a lot of different ways. But how we end up, okay, if I punch here and somebody does something, I can cover here, okay, inside. Or if I throw a punch and he moves in, I can cover here. So upper quadrant. Now, when you start thinking about all the upper quadrants that's involved, anytime that I'm in here, okay, I have all my shoulders, okay, that's upper quadrant. My hand still may be here, and I drive his head into my shoulder. That's only one version of close quarter contact, okay, or combat, whichever you would have it. Now, a lot of times if my hands are up here, okay, and he moves in, now I may hook here, I may forearm slam the side of his face. Now I may end up going here for a shield, okay? Now if he throws on that side, as while I'm in here, if he throws the punch over there, I can cover here, okay? So I just bring that up and I cover. Getting used to covering upper quadrant is vitally important. Now, sure, you can say, well, you know, what about the lower quadrant? Well, you know, sure, you could have your knees injured, you could be kicked in the groin, you could be have your floating ribs taken out, you know, depending on what you consider upper quadrant or upper perimeter. But this is more important from here up than here down. fighting wise, you know, and learning how to protect everything from here down is important too. But, you know, when it comes to upper quadrant, how am I protecting? And especially if I have a stick, okay, and I move here, okay, boom, and I elbow here, okay, or if I elbow here, okay, now I can elbow here and I can hit, okay, I'm still covered here, okay, but if I fire here and I move into here, I can still elbow here, okay, but you're covering your head, and get used to covering your head. Guys say, oh, well, you know, I can bob, weave, slip, fade. Yeah, you can. But when you have somebody that is going ballistic on you, okay, and all they're doing is this, bang, 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 and they're doing everything they can, you know, there's a lot of cool things that you could do, okay? As CJ used to always say, yeah, there is some cool things to do, you just do it without their head. Okay, so that means that, you know, if we taunt out here and we chung choi, great. What happens if he comes in a mad flurry and he's like a rabid, you know, rabid animal? How do you prevent that? I mean, most of the time you have to protect your head, which is here, which is here, which is here. And at the same time, we are not just having him beat on us, okay? And when I say beat on us, if he's throwing and I'm rhinoing here, okay, I'm trying to do maximum penetration with that elbow into some vital on his body. Now, once I fire here, okay, now, and I see cover, okay, I can hit here, okay, I can hammer fist here, okay. Once I move into here, now you see this hand here, I elbow, okay. Now I can go for the palm. So you can't just sit there and let the guy beat on you, because that's going to get, that's going to have damaging effects also. So limit your time when you're on the inside. If he's firing and I'm just doing this, I'm doing this, it's not going to be a fun party. We have to make that decision that, okay, when he fires that first round and I do cover here, one, boom, bang, I better be turning it on to get something done. Because otherwise he's going to be beating on me, and I don't know if there's any other guys around, or if he's hitting me hard enough to move me and to, you know, take my base away from me. You know, so if I'm rhinoing here, my vision is semi-impaired. And I say semi-impaired when I move to here, okay, can I see everything going on around me? No, I can't. I can get glimpses of it, but, you know, if I move here and I elbow him, I better be closing and figuring out how I'm going to get out of that situation as fast as I can. I don't want to just be a whipping post. So upper quadrant, get used to it, understand it, and have your guys put the headgear on. Have them put on gloves, and you know, try it out, see how it works. It's not always fun, and even with motorcycle helmets, it hurts. So until next video, thanks for subscribing to my channel, and talk to you later.